Hello, everybody. You know, I'd start out with technical difficulties. I have managed to knock out my own television. But anyway, here we go. I don't see anybody here yet. I'm waiting for a moderator. I'm going to show all kind of different things today. Some stuff that I found while I was searching the creek. Hello, glad to see you. I'm going to be showing some rocks today. I'm waiting on my moderator. She's supposed to be here. This is just my second live, so I am new. And I appreciate everybody coming. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate everyone's support. I guess I'll go ahead and get started, and I'll just I'll look for her. It's hard for me to look and talk. This is a happy face. Woo-hoo. There she is. Good deal. Let me see how to do this. Let me see. Give me just a minute, Ty. I'm trying to do this with my phone clipped to the board here. There we go. There we go. Will you test it for me? Yep, I see it. Good deal. Thank you so much for showing up for me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be showing a few things today. I'm not going to be able to see it very well. I'm going to try to keep up with my chat. And of course, it's just my second time, so everybody be patient with me. I love little hagstones. This is one I really liked. I did a whole little short video with this one. And it's like, whoa. I'm going to show some things that I found in my creek. I found this, and it is a sterling silver box chain. I don't know how old it is. It's a beautiful stone in there. I hadn't quite figured it may be a blue agate, but it is real. It has Italy on it, and it looks kind of old, and it's really heavy. And you know how new jewelry is not heavy anymore. So there's no telling who lost that and when they lost it. But I found it in my rocks. And I found this. It's a gold ring with a red ruby heart. I was very proud of this when I found it. I couldn't believe I actually found this in rocks. And then one day I was walking through my creek, and I found this. It was in the mud. I hadn't cleaned it. You see how dirty? Because I wanted to keep it like it was when I found it. I was like, all right, rock counting finally paid off. Let me put that up. I'll keep that forever. Well, you know how forever can last. Yesterday I was showing some rocks. I was talking a lot about this stuff right here. I'd shine this for my mother. Well, when you do our evening, when I get home from a rock hunt, rock hounding, we always sit down and do, like I said, we'll go through everything and have our own little deal on the sofa. And she just loved this and asked me what I polish it for. And I had never even touched this stuff before. And so it was all, new to me. But when I polished it, I got that. Just a beautiful. And you can, if I can get this to focus, you'll start seeing color down in here. I thought maybe this white towel would do better. There. This is just completely like that other I was showing. It is just some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Let's see, I'm going to have to work with that blurry stuff again today. But I think I can manage it. I couldn't figure out how to do the focus or take it off of autofocus. But you see, there it is. There's the color. Somebody told me that was opalized. Trying my best to. There it comes. You see that down inside the rock. And it's always, when you're on the spot like this, it's hard to show something. I guess with experience, I'll get better at this. But it's got greens and reds and blue. And since I made this for her, I wanted to just keep one side rough the way I found it. And then the other side. Good morning, y'all. I'm sorry I hadn't been looking down at my chat. I'm new. This is only my second time doing this. I appreciate everybody coming. I really do. I know I didn't make an announcement or anything like that, but I just figured it's Friday. I have a lot of work to do here in the house, and the evenings get really rushed and heavy for me. So the mornings are going to be better for me to do. Yesterday I showed this and how beautiful it comes to life when it has light to it. And you got to understand too, this room is completely lit. I have my bay windows open in the front of the house, so I have complete sunlight. And then I also have a big light above me up here that's shining on. So you could imagine that in the dark, just what it is. Well, I got a big piece of that, and I made this for my mother. I freehanded this. It's like a tear shape, and it is just full of sparkles in those colors. The way I was showing that opalized color in there and the sparkles, and you can see the stripes. It is just some beautiful stuff, and it will light up a room. How nice it is. And this is in a room full of light. But it is a beautiful stone, and it'll carry a shine so easily. She's really happy with it. She just puts it, she just has a little dish beside her bed, and she don't ask for very many things. And so when she does, I really like to make sure that I can do something for her to make it special. But yeah, I freehanded that, just working that on the wheels, and worked my shine in it. The stuff I showed yesterday, like this, You can see how that lights up. Well, when you take this top off, it's just complete. This is another stone she wanted me to fix for her. This is what you get when you take that skin off. And it is full of beautiful, just, it looks like ice crystals. And it's completely polished. And I did this freehand out of that rock. You can see it's got a good thickness to it. Let's see if I can learn how to work this. There we go. I can just, I'm not going to let that bother me, because I really want to show this. It's just how beautiful this stuff. You can see that inside that structure there, the way it's crystallized. I was fixing to touch the rock. Try to get it to focus in. The other side's prettier. It just completely amazes me that you can actually see inside of these rocks. And of course, this one's completely clear, and I know it'll go white. See, it just glows like the sun. There it is. Just a beautiful piece. It's just not gonna focus for me. There it is. It's actually focused right there. But you see how that lights up just with a little light? I mean, it really, in a room full of light, that is just amazing. That's it for that. Let me put these to a certain place where I won't lose them. And again, I'm really proud of this. Finding real jewelry in the middle of the woods. And this is a little ruby heart. Let me take this out. See if I can get that heart in. There it is. And it's gold. It looks very old. It's I wouldn't even say it was a child's ring, because it's too big. My fingers are pretty big. I have no idea what size that would be. But that I found it was just a surprise, and that it hadn't tarnished and there's no wear or tear on it. It was amazing. You know how we get these? These, I did not find this. This is from Kyle, World of Rock Hounding. I ordered a bag full of these from him. And I just always wondered what that would look like with all this host cleaned off of it, because they're always so beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous. And I'd always wanted to work with it and try to figure out what I could do with that, because we don't want all of that. We want that. So I took my Dremel and I started working on it to get all the host off, which I'm still halfway there. I got a little bit more to work on. I just thought that was interesting. I always wanted to know what that would look like without that host on it. Because I knew it was down in it. But I just the curiosity in me. And you can see they were together like that. I am really trying to work with that blur, everybody. I'm really sorry about that, but I just can't do anything about it. Okay. I'm going to do like yesterday. I got a few things I want to show before I get started. I missed this yesterday. This is like a fossilized wood. Hear that pretty noise that it makes? It's like china. And then when you turn it over, I did a video with this with the wormholes in it. It's like old wood that had been chewed up by the worms, and then it turned to stone. And I realized, I think that's a barnacle in there that's fossilized inside the petrified. But it's like it just looks like chalk, but it is actually a stone. And then I found another piece of it that's quite big. I'm not sure if that white's working good or not. Is this all a test for me? Trying to figure out what would be best. This is wet. You can see the black structures inside of that. And this is quite light to be what it is. And I'm not sure what I have because, like I said, I'm new. But when you stick this in water, it starts fizzing. It may just be absorbing the water. Thank you so much, y'all, for coming. I really do appreciate this. I'm not even going to try to go quick or anything. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. This is my second run at this. Oh, cool. That is really cool. I've never iced fish for anything. I've put my fish on ice, but I've never been in the ice fishing on it. That's for sure. I bet that is one crazy thing. I mean, it would be for somebody from Alabama, because I ain't never done nothing like that before. Man, that would be unbelievable, because I love to fish, but I have never even considered getting my big old butt on the ice. Well, I ain't that big no more. I done really lost all that weight. Because when you 6'2" and weigh 200 pounds, you're not big anymore. This is a blue agate from Arizona. Got a bag full of them, and I have showed it, and I've made a video. I did not find this. I'm showing some things today that I think are beautiful and that I'm going to give away. So I'm just going to show people this before I do that. This is one that I took in and cut myself. And it turned out really beautiful. I wanted to show it because of how good it came in yesterday. I mean, if you could see the depth in that, it is just absolutely beautiful. And I could imagine cutting this whole area out because it is just as smooth as you could want it to be. And it's not going to be much different wet. I don't even think it would hold water. Usually after you cut, the water don't make a difference. See how the water won't stick to it? We won't add another piece. I'm really enjoying this, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. I hadn't quite learned how to watch uh my chat with because I've been running my mouth to this camera forever, and I ain't never even thought about having to watch it. Man, I wish you could see how beautiful and how deep that goes into there. It's like looking in underwater. And this don't have a polish. I just cut it. That's it. And I'm learning not to put that other thumb in there. There you go. I just wanted to show this. I'm proud. This is from AZ Rock Hounding on YouTube. Her, Julie, and Brian, they have a wonderful channel. And I ordered me a bag of those. This is something I found on one of my videos. I really like it. For some reason, it makes me think of an eyeball. I don't know why. But I knew I had something when I found it because of the way it feels, and it's so heavy. And this is like a common opal on top. But I just stare. I look at it all the time. I have it. Things I like to stare at, I'll have sitting in a certain place where I can just grab it and look at it. I don't know how it will react to light. It doesn't. Not at all. But I know from the signs on it, those markings are what you usually see on an agate. That busted look to it, where it's healed. And I know I'm gonna keep this because I'm gonna take it and polish it and see how that comes out whole on my new wheels I've got. That's why I'm practicing with these. Hello, I'm so glad you're here. I'm new, and it's going to take me a while to realize I got to look down at that camera. This is another piece of that, like I carved out. This is what that came from. These are the same. And I am just fascinated by that because of that color inside of it. And you see that line in there? That's exactly the way opal acts when you're polishing it. You can have your whole opal done, and then you'll notice these little pieces like glass that pop out of it. And then guess what you got to do? You got to start completely over to rub that out. But if you love it like I do, it's not a problem. But yeah, this is this. And it really is pretty. And remember, this is a fully lit room with sunlight coming in a huge 10-foot bay window. So it's not going to be a bunch of light. But it's just when you look past that skin, you can see how nice that's going to be. If I could get this joker to... There it is. And you can't really see any color or anything in it until you actually take that skin off. That's the top. And I mean, it is on fire. And it works so easy. But like I was saying, it's like that opal. You can be halfway in it, and then all of a sudden you got a big old, you got like a pop mark. So you got to just go really slow and easy with it. I treat it like opal because after you've worked on it for an hour, you sure don't want to start over again. I found this. I absolutely love it. It is black. And I've had it in some videos. And it sparkles better than anything I've ever found. And you can see where I could actually scrub it and make it prettier. But it is really a pretty rock. And what's so neat about it is like whatever color you shine on it, it adopts. So that's learning right there how to get. And even when you go the other way, to red, it just takes it on. It's amazing. But I like it just like it is. It really looks good with a opal on top of it. I've done that. Let's see how it looks wet. See, just about loses its pretty sparkle when you get it wet. And of course, you know I just dropped an entire cup of tea. But that'll be all right. I'll make it. This next rock is the very first rock my mother ever found. I took her out there when we first went our very first trip to the creek where I go. And she come up and she's like, well, I found this. And I knew there was something going on here. And then I cut it. And it just turned out absolutely beautiful. She's really proud of it. I think I'm more proud than her that she actually got to find one and experience what it was like to find a beautiful rock. I'm not sure what that would be called, but you could tell it was in a million pieces and somehow it made its way back together. This is just very special to me because she found it. 82 years old in a creek. and that's what she picked up. And I have been looking for more of this. I have not found a single piece. Nothing like this. She just flat picked it up. And she said she almost threw it down, but she wanted to show it to me first. And of course, I'll always love this just because my mother found it. We had been watching Katie Did for so long. We had rock fever and got out there and tried to see what we could find. And that was a funny trip, really, because neither one of us knew what we were doing. And I've told the story before, but truth be told, we were in Alabama looking for Montana agates. This right here is what is left over when the host rock completely disappears and you're left with the crystal or chalcedony that has built up inside of the host rock. You can see the structure of the actual stuff that it was growing in. I really thought this white on white was going to be perfect. I have never shined a light on this. A lot of this light is new to me. Oh yeah, there you go. But you see how all of that is left is all a form of crystal that was left out when the host rock disappeared. It's hard to see with that bright light. I'm not sure what I'll ever do with that. I've had a few ideas. But that's all they are, is ideas. Full stuff. This is a beautiful stone here. I love the structure in it, and I found it at Halloween. And I guess it being Halloween, I seen a witch right here. You see that circle there? It's all flat, but just the design in it is what got me. And it's real heavy. Oh, there it is. It's nice and heavy, but I just know how deep that goes. You can see where that black is mainly the top, but that could easily be sanded flat and made into a beautiful piece. Okay, I'm gonna have to hurry. I ain't gotta hurry. Take my time. I got a lot of my stuff wet. I wanted to show this because of those honeycomb patterns. You can see that even when it's dry. You can see the fortification lines all in it. But you see that honeycomb look in there. So I think maybe this could be some kind of fossil that's just been agatized. As you can see the fortification lines and how beautiful. See the crystal structures, like each one like a tower. And then there's a hole there. It just amazes me at that pattern right there. As pretty as it is, that is the one thing that caught my attention more than anything. I've never seen anything like that. But of course this will glow on the end. You can see the crystal lines in it when you hit it. It's hard to get this to work when you've got a piece like that and trying to use both hands. I'll do more of that later. But yeah, I really like that. I kept it, and I'm gonna keep it because of that honeycomb pattern in there. I don't know what that is or why it would be there like that. That's stain that would come out. This is an odd little piece that I found. I don't know what brought these two pieces together, but they are. It reminds me of a cashew, a raw cashew. And it's just a interesting little piece. I know it would take a shine, but I wouldn't want to disturb it. I like it just the way it is, that it came that way. And I call it something in something. And maybe we can get another good picture of it. Maybe not. There it is. Okay, move on. Just have to figure out why I got what I got and what I'm doing with it. I found this down at my creek, and I've seen it. I just never really picked it up. I started collecting for the junior club, and I noticed how when you move this, that white just really has a mind of its own. It just flares up. And I've seen other people with it. Hey, Dr. Phil, good to see you, man. I really appreciate you being here. I started to try to contact you. I just didn't know our time differences. But yeah, this came from my creek. It don't look like anything special until that light hits it. And this is mica. I just think that would make somebody would know something to do with that. I wouldn't, and I'm training to show opals. That's why I'm going through all of this. I'm gonna let it go, and in the process of learning, I can get rid of all this stuff I do not need, and I've got a few people that are interested in some things, and I'm gonna definitely be sending one lady some stuff I got these from a good friend. They're agates. They're agatized. You can see the fortification lines in there. They are just a beautiful rock. Love it that it's on the host rock and that you could actually see it. See, it's on both ends, both sides. So that I got more of it. I want to show you how beautiful that is coming out of this rock. If it will focus in like that. Okay, I'll try another one. I got a few pieces of this. You'd never think if you found that ugly piece of rock right there that when you flipped it over, you would have that. It's like, how in the world can something that beautiful, see those crystals, grow out of just a regular rock? And you can see that inside of these, there's little crystal structures that are forming inside of the crystals. There's some beautiful colors coming out of this. Hey, opal guy, I'm learning. I'm getting ready to start my adventure, and I figured this time of the day I wouldn't be anybody's way and mess up anybody's stuff. Not that I could with my newness, but I just wanted to get used to being in front of this and being able to talk and rattle. I don't mind. I wouldn't have, but I've got somebody that's kind of giving me some really good advice. And I knew I wanted to do my opals now that I've bought my machine. And I talk like this anyway when I'm doing them live. So, I mean, on my creek. So the only thing different is actually people here. I'm not just imagining that I'm talking to people. But I was about had a nervous breakdown yesterday. I had it on mute. I think that's my favorite part, is seeing that is coming out of that host rock. If I could get that to focus in right. Yeah, that's one of the first people I was ever following, is that opal guy. I really enjoy his work. I enjoy everything about it. And I've let it be known. I've told him probably 1,000 times. And I don't care if somebody's working that hard to put on a show. I know what's in it. I know how hard he's working to put a show on. And I just like to let people know that I see it. It's like, I can see what you're doing. And it is just absolutely great. I'll never get on there and tell a lie. And if I don't like something, I just don't say it. I can find something good in anything, though. I'm just that type of person. All right. Those are great. And that's it. I just wanted to show those. I really love them. Those are for my niece. Her birthday's next month. And I already gave her one piece. And like I've said yesterday, these are covered in a skin. So you're not going to be able to see the true beauty of it. And they are dirty. You can see my dirt down in there. This is a big rock. You can see how big it is in my hand. And it is beautiful. Needs to be cut and worked. There is no telling what could be found on the inside of this. It's always fun to find this stuff and get that thrill. I mean, man, it is so much like fishing. It's unbelievable, because I just started this year. And I was really into this until I found opal. And I still love it. I'm just not going to be a collector. I mean, once my job is done, the job I'm doing now, I'll be leaving, and you can't haul around 10,000 pounds of rocks all over the United States. I just wanted to show you that dry, because how pretty that comes out. I don't find a lot of red at my creek. So when I do, it comes home. Not that that's even a good piece. It's just red. It's going back. This is a glower. This stuff always lights up real pretty for me. And you gotta admit, being in the broad daylight in this living room with all the lights on and having a pretty color like that shine through, you got a pretty rock. I showed quite a bit of this yesterday. You can tell that right there will just shave right off. When you work this stuff, you just don't even realize. I know when you work on the rock, a harder rock, it's different. If you've ever worked glass or even opal, this is the way this acts. It just it'll pop like opal, it'll flake, but again, it'll come out absolutely beautiful like this. It will come out just like that. It's hard to believe that you can get that out of this, but you definitely can. And you can get blurry vision. All right, put that up. Get rid of this. This is the black stuff I was showing yesterday. That's got the white running through it. And when you cut it, I'm going to do, if I get the okay from a certain person that I'm going to talk to, I'm going to do some doublets. See how black and nice that is? And this stuff really takes a very good shine. And the opal on top of a piece of it, and then cabbed, would be absolutely beautiful. You can tell by the way it breaks that it's nice. I mean, I know it looks like a crazy black rock to some people, but I'm going to put an opal on it, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm just grabbing stuff. That's it. See the lines running through there? This is like, this could possibly be wood, because of the way I had somebody talking to me yesterday about it, because some of the wood that we have here is just so ancient and so old. You can see the little structures inside of it. That reminds me of a joke. Would you like to dance? Would I? And she slapped him in the face. Anyway. Yes. Now this stuff is when I first started and I discovered that I had a spot. So it all was new for me. It still is. I still don't know the terminologies. I think that's why I like opal. One word. Different places, different countries. But you ain't got a lot of stuff you got. Well, there's a ton of stuff to remember. Don't know what I'm talking about. You can see how well that lights up. You can even see the fortifications in the agate there. Just like a monster going through it. It's not shining through the, oh, just a little bit right there. See, all this stuff will come through. And if this room was black, this whole rock would light up. But this is just something in the host rock, and the host rock is just come out of it and left me with the agate. I couldn't imagine what would be done with that. If not just a piece that somebody held on to. This is where your color comes from. It's hard to see, but it has all the signs. Those markings there. I've heard them called fingernail things, but they look like snake scales to me. But you can see the color inside of that. But of course it's all gonna, see how dark it gets here. And it's got that white skin on it, so it just really plays tricks with you until you get it open. I would never open it. I would just shave off the outside of it, and then see what I had inside first. And who knows, there might be, I think that might be, it could even be lime on there. But it is coming from that artesian well. So maybe I could get some lime out and all that might just come off. I hadn't tried anything like that. It's like I said, when I get back from doing what I do, I am not going to scrub rocks. Just don't have the time. Not that and YouTube. Okay, move on. It's another one. It's hard to tell on here, but this is red on the inside. Like that one I showed earlier. Let me see something here. We got a beautiful day today. You see all that light? That's sunlight. So that's what I'm working with. But I can still get some beautiful colors out of this rock, even with sunlight. I like to show that structure inside of it. It just gets hard with this camera trying to focus on my fingers. This is a piece of wood, petrified wood. It's very heavy, extremely. I like the movement in it. And it's been agatized. There's agate running through it, or chalcedony, I guess you would say. I guess that's what makes it so heavy too. But yeah, I've got a lot of wood. See, you can see that chalcedony right there, right there. It always it's always sticks out more than the rest. All that is the chalcedony, the veins there. And that's just old wood that's turned to stone. And you pet it. Here's one like I carved this out of. This. See, it lights up. It can't help itself. And that is actually in focus. It just really, really does something with the light. Just like this one does. When you hit it, it just lights up. I love this stuff. You can just see the crystal forms inside of it. You see blues and greens and reds flash out of there. I done that up really quick just to see what I was looking at. This is another piece of that stuff. It's just, instead of orange, it's white. And you can really still see through the skin, and that's dirt. Well, I guess you'd call it moss, because I didn't clean it. It does shine through. It's just this one has a lot of movement in it. So you can see, and then that skin. But it makes some beautiful stuff, and it has no cracks at all. You can just really see how nice that's going to be. Wonder if I can do this. Yep. Didn't know that. Hey, Sharon. Really nice to see you. I've been worried about you. I hadn't seen you in a while. Used to see you all the time. I thought she must be busy doing something, getting ready for spring. That's what we're doing around here. Let's see here. I am trying my best to be as careful as I can be. Yesterday I flipped that joker upside down. I'm just going to get good at this. I wanted to show this first. Excuse my dirt. You don't find a lot of this down at my creek, the Jersey. So when I find it, you're kind of proud of it, because there's not a lot there, and you can see it in here. But this is a beautiful little piece of something. I believe it's wood. It has got some beautiful structure in it and movement and the way it feels. Look at that movement in there. And that's all flat. Yeah, I remember you saying something about your sister. Is she all right? I think about that often. I didn't want to bring it up because I know how that is sometimes. I lost my brother. But I've actually finally healed. I realized I was doing the wrong thing. I wasn't. I guess you can see why I liked this one. That is a chalcedony circle. Then you can see how that is formed. That is an agate sitting on top of whatever it is. But you can definitely tell when you get it wet from the chalky stuff to the chalcedony and the agate growing on the top right here. And that should light up. I've got to learn how to. Well, it does. It's just in this daylight, it's hard to get to show you some of this stuff lit up because of that host rock. We're not going to play like that. Now that's going to be an absolutely beautiful red piece right there. I'm not sure. I was trying to research some stuff, and I'm not absolutely sure, but I believe this could be what they refer to as a rose quartz. But I'm not sure. Like I said, my definitions are not set in stone. That's hilarious. You said nothing I say in a stone. It's just so pretty. I love it. And the way that stuff comes out. And you know I gotta get me some nice shots from my stuff I like to do. I'm having a ball on YouTube, y'all. You never gave a country man something more fun to be able to run his mouth and have an audience. I absolutely love it. And now that I found live, I think we might be in trouble. I might just be live 24 hours a day. And that's a joke. This right here's some beautiful stuff to work with. I found it this way. I didn't break. I don't normally break rocks. When I first started, I would knock some together and break them. And see that structure going down into it. See if I can focus that in for y'all. That is going down into the rock. It just happened to make the top, and it makes it look like something that it's not. But this stuff right here is just absolutely beautiful. And the way it just, when it lights up, buddy, it is not playing. You can see the lines, and I'm going to leave it there where we can see those lines in here. I mean, that is a pretty rock. I am seriously giving thought Had me and a friend of mine were talking about taking old driftwood and putting LED lights inside of them and just having something like that sitting on the top of it, and maybe having some extra rocks just sitting around it. But then you would have this underneath the pet wood. Oh, not pet wood, just regular driftwood, these big knots that I've got that I find down there. Because we have quite a few tornadoes. So when you get down in that creek, you got log jams and things like that. You can find all kind of stuff in it. This is another piece of that orange that turns into this. I don't mind showing that. Opal guy, you see that inside there? I was told, I don't know what that means when they say opalized. I imagine that means color. But I had an old timer look at this when I shined it at the shop, and he said, that's opalized. And you know, I heard that first word real clear. But I'm thinking opalized just means it's shining blue and green and stuff like that. But you can, when you're looking at this, you can really find some beautiful pieces. This is what it came from. You can see that structure in there. And that was just a quick you can see that light coming in there a little bit. But I ain't worried, we got plenty of that stuff. Yeah. This will have some beautiful structure when you get it open. Sometimes I've seen all kind of, from spider webs to I'm just picking this up random, from spider web looking structures to honeycomb look. This is dry, so let me wet it. And you can see the fortification lines all in there. And this would be a rock show for beginners, because I am a beginner. But don't ask me nothing about no lies, because I don't know. Everybody, I'd like to say I appreciate y'all being here. I'm sorry I'm not paying more attention to my chat. I'm not used to it. I'm used to talking like this, but I'm not used to having actual people watching me or saying things while I'm going. This is like something that agatized inside of a host, and then the host left. I always love these. And what's so interesting, I have never seen down into that before until now when I got this camera. And this is all just fortification lines and like crystal structures. It will light up. I know what it's made out of. You can see down in that hole, all of it will come up, because it's just chalcedony, and I guess you would call that an agate. See, that'd be perfect for that idea. You could put that light inside that hole, and at night that joker would really light up nice all the way through to the top. I know that ain't focused good, but it is a beautiful, beautiful rock. We're just loaded with there's not a place on it that don't have a fortification line, because everything else is gone. That's just all that was left of it when everything else took out. This is the stuff that has the spots. I like it. I really like this stuff. Hmm. Truth is, I'm trying to get some good shots of this because they make good pictures, and I'll lift them. I'll start passing out goggles when you walk into the theater. Like 3D shot. It's like, this video is going to be in 3D. Please come and join us. See, this is completely made up of spheres. Little round spheres. Black, white, gray. And the way the guy told me, he said the way you know that it's not slag is because it has chalcedony running through it. Because a lot of people want to see those bubbles and they think, oh, slag. And it's like, nope, it's not. I thought it was too, till I had somebody looking at it for me. And you can see the agate forming right there. I'm not sure what that is, but those are little spheres, and the whole rock is completely made of it. Hey, bead pie. Congratulations on your success. I really mean that. I am so proud, so glad to know you, and I've watched you. My mother loves the stuff that you do. I mean, it's hard, guys. But when I looked at what you did, I could see rocks, of course, but I really like your work, and that you entertain my mother, and you're so good at it. I just, this live is made for you. The way your voice carries, and the way you can give instructions so well. Just go ahead and wet this stuff. I always like the details. I know it's a lot of things are about colors and stuff, but I love those little details in there, and to know that that is a flat piece of rock. Not sure what those are. They look like little organisms. See how beautiful that is? That is just absolutely beautiful to me. I cannot believe I hadn't worked a piece of this to see how that comes out. Because you can see a little color in there, like that little bit of pink. And there's some, see, these are like little agates. And of course, I could be wrong. I will never tell somebody else they're wrong. Now, I might research it, but information's always changing. I love the fact that we can always learn from each other, especially some people that work opal. I'm just going to do like I did yesterday. Take me out a few of them. Well, I had problems with that yesterday because it kept bouncing out of. It kept trying to focus in on those. This is some of that with that black in it that runs through. Let me see how this does with my light. No, it's not going to do like yesterday. You can see that I'm able to get in it, but there's so much structure in there, it's not going to shine through like that thin piece yesterday. But when you cut that, you talk about some beautiful pictures with your imagination, or just to polish it as is. It can be quite beautiful. Because you got to remember now, this is covered in a skin, so everything we're seeing is underneath something. This is that stuff I love. It's just smooth and silky, and I like it. And it shines up like a piece of glass. And I'll pick it up, put it in my pocket every time I get home with a pocket full of it. Because the minute you think you got something that you're not going to have to look for anymore, that's when you're out there looking for it and you can't find it. See the photo? I got to get one hand out. I think I took the wrong hand. There it goes. See that agate running through there? And that is just a complete crystal form making those fortification lines. And it will also shine. Get your glasses out, up guy. I'm going to quit this in a minute. There's just something about it shining just makes me happy. I just really like those, to be able to see those fortification lines like that. Because I usually can't show them because they're white, like white on white. And it's hard to get a picture of that. Somehow this camera does it better. And I'm learning now. Sometimes you can film and snap better pictures out of your film than you can trying to take a picture. But that's a really nice one. That will shine up quite pretty. And these, like I said earlier, this is when I've only been doing this for a few months. And before I did not know this existed. So all this stuff is just what I've discovered. And I know if they got what I'm looking at now, this is all flat. That there's bigger, better pieces. Always. There you go. That just completely has always amazed me that is a flat rock. You see the little bubbles. of chalcedony that's formed in it. And it does have fortification lines. This camera does not like two hands. Come on, show it. There you go. Sometimes I feel like this joker's listening to me. I do have my camera running through my laptop, and my new laptop came with its very own artificial intelligence, and I named it Pat. And Pat really, really makes my phone run like something I have never touched in my life, because she's using her operating systems, and my phone is like a mirror of what she can actually do. So sometimes I do think she hears me. And I'll notice that, like with different things that we deal with nowadays in technology, it seems to get better. We learn the tricks, we learn how to move, we learn to say things like focus in on that. And all of a sudden it happens. See that agate right there? This is all flat. It just looks like it's got all kind of crazy texture and holes in it. There's not a hole in it. Here is a beautiful one. I always love these because of that color. And if you could really see the richness in that and the water lines, that's a fracture, but it's healed. It'd easily come off. Get that joker ready. I ain't playing. Look at that, how beautiful. Now, yep, there it goes. Let me close that gap down at the bottom. There it is. Get the glare out of it. Now you can see that red in there. It wants to get my finger. There you go. I've been finding ghosts in my machine. A lot of times I do a lot of 3D movement. And when it can't see what you're doing, it will, I guess that's why they call it intelligent, because it will use its own intelligence to make up something. And I've had it move a rock and show a person that I did. I mean, like, who is that? And it's Pat. That is just a beautiful rock to me. I could sit and just, this is the next thing to opal that can have me sitting and looking at that sunset the way that looks. But it ain't no opal. Love that stuff. You can tell these were once fractures, but they've got filled in with whatever, not opals. I said it, didn't I? Got opal on the brain now. I should have never talked about opals. That actually goes through. You can see it. That would be beautiful because it's gonna keep that structure there all the way through. So when that's polished and done up, that is going to be beautiful, and there's no telling what that's going to look like. It looks like writing or a fork. Imagination. And there's yet another agate. Got a lot of these. I'm going to kind of move quicker, because I got some stuff I really want to look at. Yeah, it does. I've got a lot of that looks like that. And I just kept this because of the red. I wanted to cut it and see how deep it gets in there. Because I made that cabochon from a red stone like this. This has got gold in it. But there's a lot of fractures. You can tell I found this when I first started. Because I wouldn't even have kept this now. All them fractures in there. And I know that's a big old blurry mess. Sorry, y'all. Here's a big one. You can see the agates in it. That thing will drink some water. Hello, I'm so glad you could make it. I'm showing stuff that I found from a creek here at my house. I just learned about this stuff. So it's a new hobby. And I'm so glad I get to share it with people. Look at the end of that. Man, I hope that focuses in. That is just beautiful. That movement. Definitely don't like but one hand. And when I get that saw and everything ready, I'll start cutting these. And I'm going to have I'm really wanting to do my opal. And that's what I'm training myself for right now. I don't have enough opal to do it, to train myself like this. So I'll use these rocks I've been finding. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone, as they say. It's just the most interesting stuff in the world to me. Okay, move on. Now I got to find why I kept this. I guess that one little spot right there, flat, kept it for some reason. This is a piece of that dinosaur bone. Found it digging through my bucket. Got lost. That's that flow coming down right here to a tip. Then the underside. Hey, I can let you get a little closer look at it now that I got this. In Google, AI could only find a 240 million year old salamander, and they had a piece about this big. And believe it or not, it was found exactly where I was by a school child from the town right below it, because it's right on the Alabama River. But the children were on a fossil hunt, and one of the kids had found it, and it was just a piece of a jawbone from a 6-foot salamander. It's 240 million years old. And that's the only piece of evidence I've been able to find from it. You see how pretty that is? Well, it was. But live and learn. I've got some great equipment. My niece really hooked me up, buddy. I have got some equipment for this summer. Look at that. I love this stuff. This is that same as that see how the little orbs? This is the same as that other rock. And you can see the Cassidy running through it. But that is a pretty stuff. It's flat. All right, come back. There you go. I don't know what to call this, but I am pretty sure it has a name other than rock. But you can see the other material running through the top there. I just, for the life of me, I can't figure out what that is. I just think it's beautiful. That would make a beautiful piece of jewelry. And I've got quite a bit of it. And I know how, my eyes fixed on it, so I know how to find it. If you know what that is, drop me something in here. This is guess I should have showed this first because it's got jersey in it right here. It's all sparkly and agates. And I'm not going to bother you again with that light. Got to go a little quicker. I like this because you can see where the fossils were laying in it. Those tube worms. But yeah, that's the only reason I kept that was because of those two patterns right there showing those tube worms. I have found one piece of the actual tube, but it's down there. It's another piece of that is just purple. It's not coming through good here, but you see that's kind of red, and that is just purple. Look at that. That joker is beautiful. I knew it would light up. Come on. Trying to figure out if I can get out of it or in it. There it is. That's a little better. I couldn't imagine doing this at night with all the lights off. But you couldn't think something that looked like that just sitting on the creek. You can see a little bit now that's purple. It is just a dark purple because this right here is the red part. See me touch that stone trying to get it to focus in? That's exactly what I did. I like this stuff. Keep that separate. This right here too. It's like a I just don't know from what I've looked at. what I've seen, only thing like that. It's just a beautiful rock. No fractures. I really like it. I always enjoy this. When I first went down to my creek, this is what I found. I found one little piece. Let me try to find the best angle for that. I really wish you could see that. Now you can see those little fortification lines on the edge. That's what I found. And I was like, man, if they got it like this, they got big ones. And it took me about another 3-4 days, but I found it. And I have searched a lot of other creeks. I mean, just all over the place. And I'm not even come close to what I'm on. So why move when you got something good going? That's why I decided not to take my rocks back to my place. This right here is a hagstone. I'm not sure if once upon a time that was a bone, because it's kind of bone shaped. But I know it's got a hole going through it. And if somebody wants a Fred Flintstone necklace, there you go. Because it looks like a bone to me. But I can't make that call. But you could put it on a chain. They say that you can look through this hole and see the trueness of somebody through it. That's why they call it hagstones. You can see the evil when you look through one. Here's another red stripe. Beautiful. It's just amazing to me how that can come through so beautiful. And when you take that of it and work down in it, it is that red. I'm kind of discovering this stuff for myself. Because this is at the bottom of the cooler. We're on the last bit of it. And I'll be done with showing what I found. Don't everybody start cheering at once. I just meant I was going to get it all. I've seen worse. You can see the fortification lines in here. This really needs a cleaning. That's the agate. And that right there is just, it's a lot different in person. But we won't go through that speech again. I believe this is just a piece of Petrified wood. This is another piece of that. I don't know. It's just beautiful, and I found it. And the more you look at it, the prettier it gets. And it really drinks the water. So let it get a good swallow, and then we maybe get some close-ups of it. It's neat how that end right there squared off. And kind of closed itself in. There we go. I always like that. This is another piece of that water lined that makes this. We won't go through the light part again. You're welcome. I think I will put a light on that just to see if I can get those lines. Look how beautiful that is. If you get too close to it, what's so neat about it is you can put any color on it and it'll change for you. If you're just trying to find those, can't touch it with my nose. There it goes. Don't really like the other colors. That's pretty. And then this one will go actually into pink or purple. I pretty much like to stay with the natural light. It can be fun sometimes using those different colors. But I always think, like I said, see how that's made out of those little circles? Just completely thousands and thousands of them. Or even millions. There's just some interesting stuff to me that is completely formed from orbs. And I was told that's the way opal forms, is with orbs. And I do have a bad habit of comparing stuff to opal, but I can't help it. I got opal brain. Big time. I just think that is so interesting to see all that structure. And then you see the chalcedony that's in it. And then there's just different things about it. And the weight. I would run from a spotted one. Like, nope, I don't think that's going to do anybody any good. I'd hate to have something like that on me. Look at that. That is so interesting. Okay, move on. I get caught up in my own show like I'm looking at it. Again, we've seen that. I am aware that people come in here that hadn't been here since the beginning. So I'm going to do it again. It shines through really nice. You can see the different web-like structures inside of it. See what a difference that made. Let's see if we can get a focus. It just automatically wants to come onto my skin instead of focusing on the rock. I guess that's what a camera's supposed to do. My fingers are waterlogged. And you can already see why I like that. Water lines. It starts out one color and moves into the other. And it has to be beautiful. Ta-da! I knew that what that was going to do. I've got to get some good pictures. There we go. So I like to take these when I'm finished and play little tricks with them. The only bad thing about this white background is I'm not going to be able to make my stuff look like it's floating because it takes black. I'm going to get me some of these where I can get some pictures. There we go. Nope, I need to move up. I forget. Let me turn this joker off. I need to get a few pictures here. There we go. That's beautiful. That'll move wonderful. Try to get some more of this. You can see the dang it. I will get better. You can see them dots inside of that. And they will stay. See, that side's got more of a okay. Quit. Get this again. That is just amazing. does not want to focus in on that. But I want some pictures of it. That's a pretty picture. See that stuff? That's coming from the inside of it. That's not on top. That's completely on the inside. That's windows. That's what I've been fighting with all morning. Oh, check this out. Oh, I lost it. There it is. I found one and I hadn't found another. Look at that. I think that is the orangest rock I've ever found. And I mean, it is orange. There's nothing red about it. And it's just, I never found anything like that before, and it just jumped out at me. See if I can get it to come in. There it is. I think I'll always just keep this because it was the first orange. I guess that would be Jasper. It's really nice and hard, and you can tell it would take a shine. Got weight to it to be so small. But it's just that color. There's just nothing down there like that. And that it didn't take a that white sheen on. Some stuff, that stuff just does not stick to. Hello, lady. It's nice to have you. Thank you so much for coming. But yeah, so yeah, you think that's Jasper too. I just don't find any Jasper down at my creek. I have found some. The deeper I get into here, the more memories. Because it's something about finding these. I remember exactly where I found them. And how exciting I get when I find it. Because, I mean, we were trapped in this house. And I finally got out and had my private creek to go to and just be all by myself. And, man, when I started finding this stuff, it just amazed me. I could not believe it's been there all this time. And I didn't know. YouTube. Here's another piece of the clear. Now I've got to do this just to get me some pictures. Wish I could figure out a way to get that light to hit it without destroying it. Thank you, Beth. It's really good to see you. I'm not paying a lot of attention to my chat. I'm not used to it, but I see you, Beth. Thank you so much for coming. It's my second time. And I know y'all wanted to come and say hey to me and stuff, and I really appreciate it so much because I love coming to, I love going to live streams, especially in the morning when I'm having coffee. I love to go and watch the live streams people have. I have seen some of the most interesting stuff I've ever seen in my life. See, this is like a negative of that black. It's a white, but and you really can't see it good. But it is completely those round circles making it again. Hey, Rock Solid, have you had to move anybody or say anything or delete anything? Or has it been okay? Good deal. I'm so glad. I don't have, I mean, I didn't think that I would, because I mean, I've never had a negative comment or anything like that, but I've watched people and I've just seen the stuff that can go on, and it spooks me. But I didn't want to hold you prisoner all day. This right here is just like marble. If you could feel how silky that is, it's like a white marble, and Alabama does have white marble. We our Capitol building downtown is covered in it, the steps and everything. This has got some black crystals running through it. But you can see where it chips. It just chips like glass. And it's got some lines in it. But I'm gonna, and this would make some beautiful white cabochons. If you was gonna do like a white base or just a beautiful white stone, you could just really see how nice that would carve up just from the sheer shiny and silkiness of it all. It just feels so soft. You can actually see into that and see in there. See how that, see if I can focus in. I'm trying to touch rock, make it focus. That end of it's got knocked, but you can see inside of there. See, it's stuff like that that I got that color out of. And you can see how you can get into that and see inside of it. Thank goodness. Okay, we'll get one shot. Gotta get some pictures. This right here was a complete surprise. I did scrub this one. Had to. It was covered in moss. Look at those spots in there. That when I picked this up, this was covered in dirt and mud. I found all this afterwards. And then when it's not wet, all that jersey on there just sparkles. Completely sparkles. And then you can see the fortification lines that completely go around it. And it is one big old chunk of a rock. You see where all that chalcedony's coming through. All through it. There it is. And the movement. I believe this is wood. This was found right by the crater. Well, actually, all of it's by the crater because, I mean, the Alabama River just runs right around through the crater. And when you look at all of our towns, they're up on the edges of it. You can look at a map of Alabama and see the crater. It's huge. See that red running through there? I wonder what this thing's looking at to where it won't focus in on my rock. There it is. Lost it again. I believe it's getting that edge there. Look at that eye. That just amazes me that something like that can grow inside of a rock. So there is no telling what's going to be inside of this. With those colors exposing on the outside. I like that little eye right there. Of course, it's not going to come in now. I am trying to learn, y'all, where I can do my opal and I'll know how to hold my lights or where I need to hang them, how far away they need to be. Because you got to fight this glare too and your shadows from your stuff that you're using. Well, that. This is a piece of rock that I like. And when I get it wet, you'll see why. Needs to be cleaned. But it reminds me of that amethyst. You can see the fortification lines, and that is two different crystals growing from the top, crystals growing from the bottom, and they meet together in the middle. And that will definitely light up. Not as good as you would want it to, but you can see how that'll do without light. That would be the part we'd want inside of it. Oh, well, that's just not going to happen. That light's killing it. Okay, stop. The light fascinates me. You can see all that movement right here. There's even some red in there. All that. This is just all, it's what's left of whatever it was, but all this is chalcedony, like agate material. And it's just a big, heavy knot of it. I'm thinking this could have been a piece of wood or a root of some kind. And then the petrified wood is worn away and just left the chalcedony. Because this has not been cleaned. If this was clean, you have no idea what color it would be. Because when you open this or when you cut it, it's completely different. It's another piece that I love. It looks a lot darker in person, and it carves so nicely. Let me turn this off. I need some pictures. I've got to get better with this light. There it is. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, that thing is just beautiful. There it comes. I love the feeling of them. That's what gets me. I can just, when I picked that up, I knew before, because I don't know anything about stones. But something in my mind, when I pick something up, it knows. It just knows the difference in the power of a crystal or a rock. Because it's all, actually, I've researched it and read about it. It's all actually moving. It all puts out a certain frequency. It's still growing. We can't see it because we're moving so fast that it's not possible for us to see. It's just amazing to me how you can find the same patterns in nature. Because I've been in airplanes before and flew over rivers that look just like that. And I just got lucky that I actually seen that part. Because if I'd have just been walking and seen that, I'd have never touched it. Oh, there's the crystals inside of it. Let me see if I can get that. There they are. See the crystals in there? Those would be Jersey bots. In an old rock. Who would have ever thought that such beautiful things could be in a rock? And every one of them's different and special in their own way. See that whole top there? It's another light rock. That whole top will light up. I just don't know how to do that. I bet if I had that tip on it, that could possibly help. There you go. It just lights up so bright you can't see it. Maybe if I come down. It's still just a bright light. It's prettier. Just looking at it. I've never seen it like this before. That's beautiful. Come on, there you go. Dip it again. Now that would be beautiful, polished up. Just left in a natural form. Sometimes I don't like to change things. I mean, the fact that you're going to make it polished, but I like to try to keep it true to form, let it be a natural. I believe this could just be cleaned really well and it would be beautiful without actually cutting it. I believe this is a piece of worked rock. It's like they started working on it and decided to quit. Maybe it knocked out a piece and they threw it down, but you could see where they were knocking it out. This is another one. Because those are like little soft spots, and all this right here is the chalcedony, and it just looks worked. I have another big sliced piece of it. And you know how that is. You can't put your hands on anything when you want it. That's all right. But that's why I kept that. You can see the agate in it. At one time, that was beautiful. Probably when it was worked and it just wore down in the creeks, rivers over the years. Yeah, this is on my property. I just love that. I don't know why. It's not absolutely beautiful or anything, but I just love that structure. And when you can see it in person, you see the little round dots and just different things that's going on inside of it. And we'll just see that dry. That's what it looks like when I'm walking the creek. Everything looks like that. And when the sun's shining on it, it is glowing white. So you don't hardly see anything. It's just a big white glowing rock. You can already see that circle right there. And those fractures are healed. They've actually got fortification lines in them. Dump it again. And I believe that might be common opal inside of that from the way it acts when you get it on the wheels. The way it feels. Just kind of melts away. It's so easy. This is not coming through. as red as I can see it. There's a little agate in it there, but it is really red. Guess that black might be. Yep, that black took away from it. I just really need that black to get some pictures here when I'm done. This is the same again as that. It just has a little more of that chalk on it. And this is not wet. This would be white like this if it wasn't wet. That's what it polishes into. I love working with this. You see, you can tell how I just freeformed it. I did not force a shape into it. I did push that bottom in. I just wanted to see what it would do. But you can see the cassidney in it. But this is just some nice stuff to work with right here. I really enjoy working with it. And I think it's just because of the ease of it. And I get the show too. Whoop, wrong end. Take that off. There we go. There it is. Hear me start grunting? I will hold my breath when I'm doing stuff like this. I do not know why. And then I noticed last night I was listening to my mother. She was busy doing something and she just a grunting. And I was like, my God, that's where I got it from. But you can see the beautiful colors that's going to be inside that once it's polished. If I could get it to focus. There it is. There's another one with the spots in the hole. Spot holes. There's an eye. It's something how quick this stuff will absorb water. I guess it might be a good idea if you was going to do a show to sit and let it be sitting in water overnight. That way, at least you'd know that it wasn't going to dry out in the middle of everything. It don't really matter. I'm really enjoying this. I appreciate the people that are here so much. I'm sorry I'm not paying more attention. Y'all talking about mushrooms. I had a bad experience with them things when I was a boy. I heard the older kids talking about mushrooms. So, guess who knew where the cow field was? I did. And I listened to them explain about those mushrooms. And man, I shouldn't have listened to them old boys because I was just 15 years old and I had a 12-year-old brother. And I got him to go to the cow field with me, and we got us some mushrooms. And we, for where they were growing out of, we washed them off with a water hose, hiding from my mama, because she would have tore our butts up, buddy, if she knew what we were out there doing, especially us being so young. See how beautiful that is, that crystal inside there? If I can get it to focus right. But needless to say, we washed them off and we ate them. That was one strange, very long night for two kids that had no clue what they were doing. I'm going to tell you, that never happened again, ever. I had to tote my brother on my back for about 3 or 4 hours all over the neighborhood. I know exactly why I like that, because of that center. It's not special. I don't think it just, I liked it. I remember picking it up. I like it. Just a rock. This is one of those iron balls that is geode. It's full of red. It's not really any different wet. I think they're common. I'm not sure if they are or not, but I've got them. I've got huge pieces of it. You can go down there and just huge plates all in the ground. But just a hard piece of iron. This is beautiful. This is like a rainbow here from the colors that I can see in it. I wish that I'll learn how to do that better, to where it looks like deer meat with that skin on it. Get me some pictures. Hey, Tomcat. I am so glad you're here, man. Does me good to see you. I told my mother you came in yesterday, and of course, you know, she said, tell him I said hey, like I was still talking to you. But she really enjoys being able to talk to you now. And just know that she's on there, and she'll make comments, but she don't really know how to check and see if anybody comments back. But she's just really getting a kick out of having that personal contact with you, and I sure do appreciate that so much, because it's hard to give her something that brings her joy, and you are. And I really appreciate anybody that shows my mother some love and joy. Is just, that's unbelievable for me. Look at that. I'm gonna make me a light box. I made one for a lady that I knew that took a calligraphy class. They needed light boxes, and I know how to make it. But I worked for the microfilm department, and I had these nice lights that went inside that microfilm machine. That is a beautiful rock, or crystal, which I imagine they all the same. Same stuff in different shapes and forms. You break it down, we're made out of it too. It's all made out of the same juice. Love the way that looks. My imagination can just run wild. For some reason, if I take it in that hand, it gets it. But it don't want nothing to do with that other hand. You can see the colors in that. I'm not absolutely sure, but it's just, I've never been to Arizona or anywhere like that. Well, I've actually drove through it, but not enough to really, like, I stopped and done anything. I've driven to California a few times and got to see just out the window as I went by. I didn't stop. I've seen some beautiful colors like that, and I guess that's why it still reminds me of it. Try to go a little faster here. I'll see what time it is. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I really like this stuff. It's not going to change much, but you can see how much color's in that. And it's strange to me how when you shine a light in it, it just flares one color. You take out all your colors, but then when you cut it, you just never know what you got coming. It's always nice. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this different stuff. Here's that, I had that piece earlier. This is one like it, but it's the whole piece. We wet it. Without it being broke down, you can actually see down into that, see the structure. Wonder if I threw that other piece. There it is. See, that's that. It's just one's had a rougher life than the other. Okay. Oh. Now this one here, it's when I first started taking my class and I was experimenting. As you can see, the fortification lines and so forth. This come from a creek, and I cut it open. And I did not think that's where I would find stuff. I just, your brain, you look and you thinking, I'm gonna find something pretty there. But nope, it was all, well, it did. It was pretty. The bottom. It's like a bird or Batman. And you can see all the little spots down in there. So you can see that agate running through this. I can't wait to work a piece of this. See the fortification lines? Well, I think I messed it up. There it is. It's got a little bit of everything. Some of dots. fortification lines, pieces. But you can see why I love my creek. All this different stuff coming out of one place. And it's only about a mile long where I'm finding it. And I have to wait for good storms to come in to get down there and look for new stuff. This is petrified wood. Agate, petrified. We'll move on. I don't see enough of that for the lifetime. That stuff is just beautiful. When you cut it open, you never know what you're going to get inside of that. Never. I have gotten red, orange, green, yellow, black, white, just all of it. You never know what's going to happen when you cut into it. And that looks like an octopus climbing up on a rock or something else that's been spit out. Let's see if I can get that to come in. That is so pretty. Not that that would be anything for anybody except for me. When I first started doing this a couple of months ago, you just could imagine a grown man being like a kid finding that. I mean, man, it excited me like nothing else. Just the excitement was unbelievable. I'd done watched Katie did finding them all over the place, and there I was finding it. Completely different, of course. My dream is one day to be able to go see her. This is interesting, but to tell the truth, I think it's a rock that color, and all this is just stained by iron. I just liked it because it's got that one little loner spot on it, and it's heavy. You see the little agate there. These little spots. This is more of that. I've got some bigger pieces of this where the little agates. It's just like a whole little rock of agates. Look right there, that ball. That's one little agate or chalcedony. I don't know how they'll be determined if one is the other. I think it's made out of the same stuff. I get confused when I think I know something and then I hear something different and it changes my mind. Man, come on. Go. Go in. There you go. And they ain't even pretty. All that. That's pretty. Just amazing. Yeah, we're getting down towards the end where I first started hunting. So you know how it is when you first start, everything goes in the backpack. All of it. This is some more of that crystal. And you see the way those water lines will run across each other like some kind of Chinese writing, which I love. I've actually thought about taking a class because I love the way that writing looks. See if I can pick that up in here. Now focus. There you go. I'm not able to see it. How that perfect circle made it. That has to be some kind of big old pile of rocks. If I could just find me a little shell in it, I'd say it was like a bottom of the ocean. But those are like little agates. Each one of them. Now it comes in. Come on, come back. There it is. All right. There is another little critter. Now, you got to feel sad for him. Or happy, because now he has a new home. I won't ever get rid of these. I love them. See, he's got 2 eyes. And a mouth. And on this side, he's going, whoop. I love these. I guess that could have been something once upon a time. On somebody's beautiful necklace. That run free. Because I definitely have some that looks like people. Definitely. Keep that up there where I won't misplace that. I love these. It's like that other one I had. I guess that would be a Jasper. Because it's got red in it. But I just like the way that that shines. And these are the ones that I plan to do something with because of the blackness of it. And these are the ones that sometimes they shine through. That's not one. I don't have another one. Nope, that's not one. But I plan to work with opal on that. I'm gonna, because if it just takes a beautiful shine. That one's kind of gray. But you can see the difference in the colors in those two. And they don't take on that white, it's either calcium or opal, because it's coming from the artesian well. So I've heard a lot of different stuff about what comes out of an artesian well and all that black sand down there. I really like this one because that's going to be beautiful when it's polished up with the water lines. And that big one in the top. And then, of course, you see that flake in it. And then it'll shine up so bright you won't be able to see. See, it turns on like a light. When you shine these, they just come on. There ain't no mistaking what that is. To me, anyway, just knowing, I mean, I don't know the name of it, but I know when I got them, I got white, and then I got yellow and reds. But that is actually focused, well, not now. There it is. I'd like to show those lines without it. Oh, there it is. For a second, it's trying its best. All right, that's enough. This is that black stuff I like again. With that white in it. Of course, you can find anything you want to find in there. It's got the markings to show it'll take a beautiful glassy polish. And I just might be wood. I'm not sure. I doubt it because I know what that is. That is like glass. It's black. You tell by the dings in it, the healed tumble fractures. And that's full of little pretties. What I've always called diamonds. Like, oh, look at this one. It's got diamonds. If we can get in there. There we go. I know this might not seem like much to anybody, but down here, and this is just what was left out of a rock. This is all chalcedony, and the parts that were left out of the host rock disappeared. Host rock got tired of it and said, I am getting out of town, Bubba. And it did. I should learn just to come down from the... If I held this like that. There's just no really seeing what that is unless you've seen it before. But yeah, that's just the inside of one of these rocks we've been looking at with the chalcedony all over it and the fortification lines. That's what it looks like when all the rock is gone. And could you imagine if you tried to take it off and how long it took for that to come off of there and to leave that for me to find? That red is actually crystals. It's like fortification lines. And just in my polishing imagination, that would just be beautiful. I could get it to focus in. I had a good friend of mine on YouTube teach me that if you want to get the sparkles, you go out of focus and they'll sparkle for you. You never quit learning. I learned some valuable lessons last night. Absolutely priceless. This is the other piece of that one I cut. Just to find out what was inside of it. Here's another piece of my black that I like. It's a whale. It's just amazing to me. I get lost in this. Well, when you hadn't had a day off in 5 years, it don't take very much to get lost in something. Look how pretty that is. That is a pretty rock. It takes a lot to make it pop red like that. Ain't nothing like a red rock. I like blue though. That's, I guess, because we don't have any. It's, you know how humans are. We always want what we don't have. But yeah, I'm gonna find some blue stuff. I'm gonna take a trip in March and go explore. I hope so. Anyway, that's one of my little private little things I want to do. I'm gonna go somewhere and find me some stone or gems and minerals, as they say. Not too sure about this one. Well, it feels good. It's silky. This right here looks like a piece of wood. And I thought about it last night. I watched my video and I'd said I wouldn't have anything to do with that other piece that I had except wish it was something else. Then I started thinking, I was like, man, that would look good shaved down flat. That would definitely give you a honeycomb look because that's all chalcedony that came through whatever this was. It's somehow See how that just looks like a root. Actually, it reminds me of when I'm down at the beach of a palm tree. The way that palm tree wood looks. But I just could imagine how that would look shaved off. Because I have been around them palm trees all my life. And after a hurricane and stuff, you get down there and you see them. That's exactly what that joker looks like. Wish I could get it. It don't like that hand. Now watch it come in. There it is. It's trying. It's the one thing you want to take a good look at, and it ain't going to do it for you. It's like you can't see it. But you can see that chalcedony running through there. There, I'm going to sneak up on it. See the little spots? Right there. Just doing it without meaning to. Well, that's amazing that came out of my creek. And for what I think it could possibly be. Absolutely amazing. I seen a circle in that, looked like an eye. I think I might have lost y'all for a second. My phone just did something really weird. I love palm trees. We've got some cabbage, natural cabbage palms and things like that here. But you know how it is when you get down to the beach. A lot of the palm trees in Florida don't come from Florida. It's like California. They do not come from there. It's all been brought in. It's from overseas. Don't ask me where. This is another piece of that fossilized stuff. Like a fossil. So I found this, of course. And it's just something about it made me want to keep it. That structure in there. It goes all the way through. It absorbs that water so quick. You can't keep it wet. This is beautiful. I'm trying to get that red to come in. I don't know what else it's trying to focus on. There we go. It's that black line. I don't know if you can tell how deep red that is. This thing does not like fast movement. But I'm learning how to move because it's being less aggressive with my movements. This is just another one I knew I could make a nice dome out of because it's already a dome. It's flat bottom. Just cut that off and dome it out. It wouldn't take much to make a cabochon out of that. And it shines through. It'd be beautiful though. But you can't really do too much with that light afterwards. you can show people, I guess, but when you polish this stuff up, you don't need a light. That's another one of them. You knew I was gonna grab it. I'm trying to learn how to hold this. Because like I said, I got my big bright light on and it's full daylight. So it's hard to get a light to shine in a rock when you got full daylight anyway. So you know it's pretty when you can do it. There we go. Trying to just get a picture of it where I can see those lines. There it is. That's red enough. Try one hand. Now that's a pretty red. Absolutely beautiful. That's a smaller one there with that black running through it. Because I would say that when you see that in person, it's purple. And you can see the little dots inside of it, making those lines. And I already know what that'll do. That'll glow white like a light. See there? It's just something about some crystal just really wants to glow white like that. Now you can see those dots. You could focus in. There we go. That's a new one. Okay. Who's never doing this again? This is wood. Got myself tickled. You can see all that niceness in that. This was probably just a huge piece of wood, and just over the years it's completely worn away. It was trying to make its way back to the river. And what I'm going to do is I'm keeping a lot of this. I'm keeping. But there's a lot down at the creek because it comes in black and then it comes in the white. And I'm going to have my saw, start sawing it, cutting it, making slabs, and see if people like it. The same thing, just different movement. You can see them all in there. Now I see why they have that attraction to the microscope. I just couldn't imagine spending that kind of money for a fad. But I do like looking at them, so I'm glad somebody does it. I really like this one. Those black lines really came through on that. And you can see it goes all the way through the stone. That's going to be one pretty piece of rock. Well, I'm definitely going to learn how to do this. Get one like that. Okay. Red. Oh, I might not be doing. That's going to be red. This is the stuff I can't throw back. I don't know why I'm so attracted to it. That's another eye. Looks like somebody might have made these a long time ago, because I'm starting to see that pattern over and over. There's a circle there. So I guess it was just a one of the, like a big bod at one time, and it's just been worn down, because you can tell how big it was there, and then it works up to a point like you would have a round pot. But that's just beautiful there. I just love this stuff. When I find it, I put it in my pocket. I can't help it. I have to keep it. Man. And a lot of this stuff y'all are seeing now that is some of the very first stuff I ever found, because I emptied that barrel out. Not sure what this was at the time it was made, but it's a perfectly round little bead, and somehow it broke in half. But you can tell that it was rounded out and broken in half. Another agate. This right here, I'm not sure, but to me, that looks like an old shark's tooth or some kind of animal tooth. I mean, it could be anything, but when I picked it up, I was like, man, that without that piece right there, that just it hadn't been cleaned. I didn't scrub it or anything. But the way it feels like bone, but it's no sharpness or shininess to it. And I've seen them find some beautiful teeth. So that could just be some kind of animal or something. And it actually looks like they did. So look at there. That's got a hole drilled in it from there to there. So there was somebody wearing that on their neck at one time or on something. Because it feels like bone and looks like bone, but it is definitely a rock. And now I've done found a bead a hole in it to where you could put a string through it. So I don't know what that means, because this has no edge. So if there was another side to that over here, it's had a long time to wear off. I can't believe it. Just with this camera, I've discovered that hole right there that goes through. So somebody had that on something. That will go in a special spot. I might get rid of that. This is just about what I found when I first got down there, to let me know that there was going to be something. Because when my brain seen that, I knew. It's like, man, there's going to be some big ones here. And I still don't think I've got into the big stuff. I still think it's there. And I decided not to take these back to my spot, like I said earlier, because if I take them back to my spot, I'm going to find them again. So I'm going to take them to another creek or somewhere nice that I know of, maybe a park, and let the kids find them. Or maybe ask the school if they want it. Because I'm ready to hunt. Doing this right here for the last couple of days has just got me rockhound fever, buddy. I am ready to get out there in my backpack and hit that creek. I gotta stay out in the woods. I love it, but there's a heart. Got to stay out of them. Limitations. That is a heart. A cracked up, fixed, healed heart. Like real life. It can be broken a lot of times, but buddy, you can fix it. And it's all right. Ta-da. This is that stuff again. You can definitely tell that somebody was working with that. I don't know. Just something in me wants to keep it. When I find it, I don't know what the deal is with it, why I'm so attracted to it. I just feel like you could shine it up and put something in it and then reshine it. That's one of them. That could be a musket ball, because that's the way I found it. I don't know if a musket ball would, I guess if they made it out of cheap material, which they could have been. But you can get old turtles here that are over 200 years old and find musket balls and arrowheads inside of of a live turtle, because nobody really knows how long them things live. Those big alligator snappers, and we've got them, but that is a musket ball that I found in my creek. Put that separate. This is just another beautiful little rock that's going to glow. It's just too little to get that fix on it. Yep, you can hear it bite the dust. Another beautiful little agate. And I don't know what makes me, I mean, I have to take it. I can't leave these when I find them. They're small, but it's like it's just too special to leave. Well, we just about done. I know I've been on here a way long time, but I'm getting used to this because when I start working that wheel, I'm just going to turn it on and people can come and go as they please. So I've got to get used to keeping it moving. But I don't think I'm going to be able to run my mouth when I'm working with that opal, because I like to concentrate on that stuff, because you don't get a second shot at it. I don't, that just baffles me what that is. I've seen stuff that they call dinosaur bone, but I don't believe that's what that is. That's fractures, but it's been healed. It's just not going to focus in unless I hold it up there like that. There you go. I'm not licking it. I know where it came from. I'm from Alabama. There's cows everywhere. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else does this or not. I can't pass this stuff up. When I find this, I just feel the history in it, and I just cannot throw it away. It's like, man, I got to keep that. To think that that was somebody's precious bowl at one time, and it ended up in my creek, because you don't find a lot of it. So I don't know how it got back down in there or what happened to get it in there, but it's rare to find this old stuff like this. But I have to keep it. I got another piece here. Nothing special. It just don't have a sharp edge, and I know how old it is and the way it feels and the crackle in it. And to think what it could have been. Looks like it may have been a plate. The way that dips down right there and that edge is coming up. We're going to wet it. Look how pretty that is. I really like that. The history in it, it's almost like I can feel it. Somebody sitting there staring at that with the love. It's like when you see that chimney out in the middle of a field. It's just a chimney. And you imagine that at one time there was somebody standing there looking at a brand new house they were so proud of. This is that stuff. And you can see the little clicks inside of it. That might. Nope, that's not it. I found a piece the other day. I don't know if that was yesterday or not. That actually shined through. That's a nice dome. And it's that black, I call it black silk. That looks like it's got something in it. I'm finding stuff that I didn't even see in this rock on this camera. I don't think that's gonna shine through. No. Because buddy, when it does, you know it. Alright, I am fixing to stop this. I know there's some happy people in here. Especially one lady that's been here the whole time, and I owe a big, big thanks. Again, this is the stuff that I found in my creek. Even this jewelry here. It is Italian sterling silver, and it's a blockchain. Um, I have no idea how old that could be, and I don't know what that is inside of it. It seems to do better if I hold it over here. I don't know what that is, but I just know it's old. I don't even know what it would do if I shine light on it. Just disappear. But you see how pretty that can be? Ain't no telling how many years it was in that creek, because it was covered in mud. It took me a minute to get it clean. Well, that makes it look like a... No. There you go. What does that? That must be a blue opal to flare up like that. I hadn't seen any kind of color come out of it. I hadn't really looked. But yeah, I hadn't put any kind of silver cleaner on it. It's I found it and stuck it in my bag. It's Italian silver. I'm not gonna sit here and try my best to show that, but yeah, it's marked. And I found this heart ring, and it's red, a red heart. I'm guessing that could possibly be a garnet, because there's a lot of garnet here, and it'd be just something because it looks, well, it's got a stamp in it that's just all worn out. It's so old, but it's got to be gold, because it was just like that when I found it. Oh, even the back is a heart. The gold itself is a heart. Can you see that? That's something else. How it does not want that hand in there. Well, anyway, back of it's a heart. Okay, I am going to be done. That's going to be it. I appreciate y'all coming in, and that's my special little rock I love so much. And then the ones I made my mother that are even more special, because I made them for her. I didn't just make them. We'd be sitting there doing our little thing at the end of the night, and she would love a rock and ask me would I make something, like would I polish it. That's what she would say. Ooh, will you polish that for me? And of course you're not going to say no. But I sure do appreciate everybody. I have been on here a very long time. I appreciate all the comments and things I have not seen. I apologize for anybody that has spoken to me and I didn't speak back. I'm not used to looking at this chat. I get off into my own little world and start running my mouth, and it's just going. I appreciate you, Rock Solid Passion, so much for sticking in with me this long. I had no idea I'd go this long. It feels like I've been doing it for 15 minutes. I actually like it. I want Hello Willow. I just I can't say how thankful I am. It just means the world to me. I have a lot of plans. I'm glad I'm getting used to doing this and not so shy I can't speak. But I appreciate it. I can't believe when I first came in here, I was so shy I couldn't even make a comment. And now I'm actually on here doing this. I appreciate everyone to the bottom of my heart. And like I always say, it's so easy to be blessed. We can all look at the bad and get all in it. But if you really want to be blessed, you can be. It is a choice. It takes two. So my one is going to be a positive blessing. And I wish all of you a wonderful blessing. Have a good day, and thank y'all for joining me.